Oh man, this might be the worst sounding episode of Movie of the Week we've ever
But
had.
it looks so cool, and it's in black and white.
It's not in black and white.
No, we're not gonna make it in black and white.
No, dude, why would we do that?
The movie's in black
But the
and
movie's
white.
in black.
We're not gonna
It's
make
our
the
first.
whole...
It's our first black and white movie episode.
I don't remember what... You can hear it creeping down. Look, it's moving.
Oh
You
my
can
God.
see it.
It's gonna dip
It's
into
in
the
the
shot.
It already is.
Guys,
I don't think we should make films. I don't think we deserve to.
how can these people expect me to watch their film when I can't make a YouTube video? That's actually a good point.
Well, usually we have Kevin lifting up the mic.
Yeah, usually Kevin's, that's why we cut sometimes, like whenever it cuts to an angle where it's just me and Sam Slade, it's because he's holding up the microphone.
Kevin has to actually record all of his things that he's gonna say in the video separately and react to things we said. So Kevin, write down what you're gonna be saying for this episode while we're talking. While me and Alec have a conversation about it.
Alright.
I completely forgot that I wanted to change out of this shirt. Shit!
So,
Alright,
so
so
this
this
week we're doing Ace in the Hole.
So
Yeah,
the movie
Sam
this week
Slade-
is Ace in the Hole.
Sam Slade, you recommended Ace in the Hole.
I did recommend Ace in the Hole.
Prequel to Holes.
It is the prequel to Holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're all trying to dig up to find that guy's body.
Yeah. What is the premise? Why are they digging?
There's treasure.
Yeah, they're digging because they're supposed to be treasure. Because
Pirate treasure?
no, dude.
Pirates aren't in the desert, dude.
What's her name?
I
12
don't-
Years a Boy movie. What's her name? Not 12 Years a Boy.
Excuse me?
What's that movie? Boyhood.
Okay, yeah, boy. Hey,
What's her name?
Here's a boy!
That's what it is.
Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, she like has buried treasure, dude, and they're trying to find Patricia Arquette's treasure. But yeah, Kirk Douglas
my
is still alive, and he looks listen. It's you can't just say he looks terrible because it's like he's old. Like of course he's gonna look terrible, but like he looks not like a human anymore.
He
Like,
looks great.
Put up the picture in the corner, like.
Like think of a 99-year-old that looks as good as Tommy Wiseau.
Kirk Douglas, the whole time I was watching, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a movie with good old KD in it.
Really?
No, I don't watch old movies. Sam Slade, my first thought when this movie opened up was, it's old. And then, because I was like, there's no color. Like,
There's no color.
what's up with that? And then,
What's up with that?
and then, the movie was square. I hate it when it's not in widescreen. The wider, the better. Kirk Douglas is a racist!
Kirk Douglas is basically every bad thing you can be in this movie.
He's one of our characters.
Which is like,
How? Good afternoon, sir.
you brought up that it's old, and like that was the thing that I liked, or like what like brought me into the movie so much was like this is a movie that came out in 1951,
And the main character is
and the main character
person.
is basically Walter White. Like
Yeah.
he is the worst person
Even
ever.
in Albuquerque.
Everything he does is wrong. Like he beats women, he's racist, he's selfish. Like everything he does
The movie
is for personal gain.
So the movie opens up, I had to go to the fact that it was a square.
It is a square.
And then he walks into this Kirk Douglas, he walks into this like newsroom, and the first thing he says,
what do you know about newspapers?
the first thing he says to this Indian fellow that works at this place, he's like, hi-ho, or whatever.
No, he goes, how?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, I was immediately just like, what the hell? What 50s Kirk Douglas?
Well,
50s
50s in general, but
He's got like a
Yeah.
great opening spiel of like why he deserves the job and stuff, and like he's like the reason why I was fired from all my other jobs, and he just like lists off a bunch of horrible things he's done.
And
Like,
all
he's like, oh yeah, I was
completely
sleeping
different.
with my boss's wife. That's why I was fired for that.
He also
one.
said, like, he's like, I'm a liar. I will lie to you. I won't lie to you, though.
No, because you wear a belt and suspenders.
Belt and suspenders, so I would never lie to you. You're a careful man.
Quiet, everybody! Listen to me! Listen!
Beneath this sinister mountain, a man is buried alive, trapped by a cave-in. And from every part of a shocked and anxious nation, the crowds stream to watch the desperate rescue crews fighting against time, battering their way to the barrier of solid rock, while far below, a daring reporter makes his way into the treacherous, crumbling tunnel that is the only lifeline between the helpless victim and the outside world.
You
be out of here.
Almost every single time he's in dialogue with another character, it's great.
Oh yeah, no, he like all of his old. The guy that wrote it,
Billy Wilder.
Billy, he's great.
And directed it. Yeah. Because I didn't realize that he directed it until I started watching it and I said, a Billy Wilder film, and I'm like, he's one of those old ones. I've seen a lot of his movies. I can never remember which ones they are, and then I look them up and I'm like, man, these movies are so good. Like, I have seriously, like, anywhere between, like, 8 to 9 or 10 out of 10 for, like, all the ones I've seen.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot when I saw it, and it sticks with you, and it's, like, this really classic-looking movie that nobody really knows that much about. Like, it's one of those ones that I guess were lost, and I'm pretty sure it was lost because of the subject matter, because it's such a dark movie.
Yeah.
Usually, like, movies that came out, like, the ones that survived, the dark ones that survived were, like, Alfred Hitchcock's Strangers, which is not even nearly as dark as this movie, but it's still a darker movie. And it's a Hitchcock movie, so people, like...
And it came out the same year?
Came out the same year, that's what I'm saying. Like, from that time,
you gotta
I'm sure that one, like, this movie was forgotten because people were probably put off by it. Like, even me watching it modern audience with...
It makes you feel very uncomfortable immediately.
Shows like Game of Thrones and, like, Breaking Bad or other, narratives where the main character's horrible, like... It's disturbing. You're like, this guy is a horrible person.
And you immediately know what's going on. I mean, I obviously knew because you told us the premise last week.
Not last week. Last movie.
The minute you understand what the how it's happening and how manipulative the main character is, you're like, oh, this isn't gonna end well.
It keeps getting worse and worse.
And he's so good at he makes everyone else around him worse. Because he convinces them to be selfish.
Yes.
He convinces them that what he's doing is the people that catch on to him. He convinces that it's a good thing for them too.
He is a human tumor.
Yeah. He makes the guy who's trapped in the hole's wife horrible.
Yes.
She's already bad, but he makes her even worse.
Yeah, you feel that guy in the hole is he is the worst.
He's also lying about what the guy is saying in the hole. Every time he comes, he's doing great, guys. He's a trooper. He's great. And he's just I'm gonna die.
Help me out of this hole. The noise of the drill.
It's gonna kill. He's like, guys. He's an ex-military. World War II. This guy's super tough. He can handle this. He wants to stay in there longer. Really.
He asked me, can we?
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh heck no! We got to drill through the top and take 8 years to get you out."
So Kevin, this is your first time seeing it. What did you think going into it?
I have seen Kirk Douglas movies.
Kirk Douglas is great, dude.
Yeah, no, he's great. I've seen a couple movies when he's older. That was actually the first couple things I saw him in was when he was older, and then I saw Paths of Glory and
he's so good
and Spartacus, and he's really good in both of those. And in preparation today, I was just thinking, I'm like, man, Paths of Glory is such a good movie, and Kirk Douglas in 50s movies, this one's probably going to be great. And so I absolutely loved it. I was ready to play it, and then I'm like, all right, so I'll kind of fix my room all day, and then the first thing I just kind of end up sitting there and just holding stuff and just staring at the screen the entire time, and then the next scene happened, and the next scene happened, the next scene happened. I'm like, I'm not getting anything done at all.
But yeah, it's one of those movies on our weekly movie of the week show that I was not able to do anything else. Normally I'll play video games or draw or something. I could not do it. I was completely glued to the screen.
It engages you in a unique way. Well, unique to the 50s. You know, and then nowadays, you have movies like Nightcrawler now, right? Which obviously this movie has a lot of similarities too, in terms of
pretty similar.
In terms of its plotting and its main character, but yeah, honestly,
both about news.
Yeah, they're both kind of a weird double feature buddies.
Well, I think reporting is such a great place to have that type of character in, because there's so much room for moral ambiguity or manipulating people and lying and forcing stuff to happen to make it sound cool.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of movies like that are just really great, and seeing a movie this early do something like that, and movies that would go on to be Gone Girl and stuff like that, movies about manipulation of the news, or like even network.
He's scummy from, like, before he even starts doing anything scummy, he's talking about all the scummy things he's done. He's like, oh yeah, we once did this news story with a bunch of, like, what was it, like, mountain lions that got out, and then he's like, yeah, and they caught, like, 49 of them, but there was one left, and we knew where it was, and we kept it hidden for several days.
Yeah, and like,
just to keep people scared.
He's
like, that is insane.
He starts salivating at the thought of, like, a murder story.
He
and
literally
it's like,
does.
I haven't watched a 50s movie in over a year. And this movie really made me think of, like, some of the differences, because the movie has a lot of wide shots, which is weird because it's a square. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's thinking of a wide shot as a square is a really weird thing, because you can't, like, the idea of a wide shot today is you want to get, like, this expanse, it's going to be epic, and you get, like, the whole view.
Right,
but
mostly tall, dude.
A lot of it's just played completely for, like, just being able to fit all the characters on screen. Like, there's so many shots where it's, like, 3 or, you know, 4 even characters that are just packed in, that are just having a conversation. I don't think this movie could have been... Well, no, it's not that I don't think it could have been made. I do not think that movies are made like this anymore. I think Nightcrawler's, like, the closest thing to a movie like this that I can think of just off the top of my head. But, like, movies are, they have to have, like, some weird, like, giant thing. This movie had no giant thing. Like,
no.
it is just a character.
The most thing it gets into a giant thing is, like, that shot towards the end where they just, like, the people come out of the train, and then you follow the people, and it gets wider and wider, and you see, like, the whole circus, and you're just like...
That?
And they're playing, like, the music in the background, and you're just like, this has gone way too far. Like, this is... How long has it been? 5 days? 6 days?
But, like,
yeah.
Like, even a movie like Gone Girl, like, it is kind of similar in just how it's, like, dark and about manipulation and stuff, but it's still, like, this grand mystery, like, you know, there's, like, everything now has to have a hook. This movie barely has a hook at all, where it is just this character, and he's gonna do whatever he can to manipulate a situation to get the most out of it. And, like, that's the premise of the movie, and it's, like,
it's always so, and it's, like, disturbing and, like, interesting to watch when he convinces someone to go something his way. Like, they're like, yeah, we're gonna just, like, prop up the walls and we're gonna get him out. It'll be like in a couple hours, and then he's like, that's unsafe. And he's like, please, I don't know much about construction,
one
but
of the things I really liked
unsafe.
about that scene is that you can see it in his eyes, because, like, the one guy,
like, there's a little bit of fear in there. Because like, no.
The one guy, like the head engineer, he's like, yeah, we could do it sooner, but, you know, there's a lot of guys that, like, we'd have to pay him more, because a lot of guys are scared because of this whole, like, Indian burial thing that you've written. And then he sees that, like, you can kind of see this twinkle in his eye, because he's like, that fear, and he's like, I'll play off that. That's dangerous. Danger. You know, I think the whole thing's too dangerous. And it's like, just seeing that, like, happened in a split second. Like, Kirk Douglas plays it really well. I don't even know him.
Well, not just that, but the
still
whole...
alive, dude. You can still meet him.
I can still meet him.
But the whole build-up to that scene, I was actually just gonna say also...
Kirk Douglas, I wanted to ask you about your film, Ace in the Hole.
What?
Ace in the Hole, Mr. Douglas. One of my...
Here's a hole for you. Well, yeah, and that whole scene, like, with the sheriff, and how in a self-contained scene, the sheriff's like, fuck you, dude, you know, you're a bad person. He's like, hey, you want a promotion? Well, of course.
It goes
like, listen, this is going to be great for you. I'm going to tell them that you're a hero, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, hey, listen, I think it's unsafe also.
I also,
immediately in one scene.
I kind of felt like an idiot throughout the course of the movie a little bit, because during that scene I was like, this is a great deal. Like, you know, Kirk Douglas, he's not that bad. He's just hyping it up a little bit. But then at the end, when the like, his old boss comes in, he's like, that's like crooked politics. Like, this is all very bad.
This is very bad.
I was like, Kirk Douglas, no, you're right. He is wrong. He's bad. He's a bad man.
He's a bad man.
He's a bad person. He almost had me.
Yeah, and you know, and then he slaps a woman.
That's pretty early on. That's like within like the first 40.
Yeah, he double slaps.
And she's being like kind of flirty with him. And
she totally wants his cock, dude.
And she's like, he's like, get that smile off. You're supposed to be bereaved. Blah blah blah. And then she's like, why don't you make me get that smile?
Yeah, like,
and then he just slaps her a couple times.
That scene was so fucking
immediately
good.
Changes completely, and you're just like, oh my god.
Because you're like, she's like slapping off me by like kissing me. It's
yeah,
like
what?
And you thought for a second, like, oh, he might.
She doesn't say slap. Like, she's just like, make me or something.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, see, that's why I love that scene so much, is because your expectations going into that scene are askew because of what he told the guy at the beginning. He was like, oh, I slept with this guy's wife. And I'm like, okay, so he's not against that, clearly.
But it's also that, like, they're both attractive, and, like, you know,
and you're like, oh, it's bound to happen, right? Like,
yeah.
it's the right drama, right? And then when she's like, why don't you make me or whatever? And I'm like, oh, it's like this is a 50s movie. It's like in 50s movies, I would grab the arms and then kiss, and then it's this whole big.
He does do that later on, like
dramatic thing, and then he just slaps her.
And the music changes completely.
He is so mean about it too. Like he's not like he's just like.
Bam! She starts crying, and then he's like, yeah, that's why you should be crying. This is what you're supposed to look like.
Yeah, he's like, don't wipe it away. Don't wipe it away. Keep it. Now go outside, flip some more fucking burgers. And you're like, Jesus. Oh my god.
One of the things that makes it so engaging is that you're like the whole time I was completely wrapped up in like, how is he gonna escalate it next? With every scene, it's like he has a plan, but he doesn't at the same time. Like he's thinking on his toes.
Well, it's just because he's seen it a million times.
Yeah, and he's just like, in almost every scene, it seems like the character's thinking, how can I like benefit more after this conversation? Like, how can I get more out of this?
Statham? Worked in New York, Chicago, Detroit.
What about the 200?
I was coming to that. Mr. Boot, I'm a $250 a week newspaper man. I can be had for 50.
Why are you so good to me?
I know newspapers backward, forward, and sideways. I can write them, edit them, print them, wrap them, and sell them.
Don't need anybody right now.
I can handle big news and little news. And if there's no news, I'll go out and bite a dog.
It's cool just like the little details they put into the movie to like show the escalation, like the things added to the experience of it all, like that the people are sitting around, like the Ferris wheels popped up and all that, and like the sign, the lot sign that has the price to get in, like gets higher and higher as the movie goes on.
Notice that.
I didn't
notice that either.
It's a quarter first, and the guy's like quarter, whatever, and then it's 50 cents, and then it's $1 at the very end.
At first,
it's crazy, dude.
Kirk Douglas, he calls everyone fan in the movie. At first, I thought he was saying fam, and I was like...
I had the same thing the first time I saw it.
I was like, Kirk Douglas, are you from 2016?
He's like... Isn't he just calling the kid fam?
No, he calls almost... Because that's why at the end, the other newspaper men come in and they jokingly say fan to him, because he said he calls everyone, pretty much. Like, he uses it...
It sounds like fam, though.
I think it's supposed to be like a derogatory thing, because he only seems to say it to people he seems like he feels like he has some authority over, like the newspaper men that are all scrambling for his story.
I think the thing that makes it twisted and like almost hard to watch at times is like, because the whole thing is that people that go to watch it and like are interested in it, the reason why the story is selling so much is because like everyone's like detached from it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not actually seeing this guy suffer in a hole. Like I'm just here having fun. Like this is an interesting thing. Like everybody's like, it's a big cultural thing surrounding it. And it's sort of like the message of it is lost, but like the movie's constantly forcing you to see that guy in the hole and he's just like losing his mind.
Getting completely worse
and then you leave the hole and then you're just like, oh no, like he's not getting help. It's like this is just there's a circus going on outside. Like that's it. And they constantly have to show you again. Like it's like a weird juxtaposition where it forces you not to be just like a bystander.
There's that great scene where like that random guy just came up to the radio host guy and he was like, yeah, they could be doing this way faster. I don't know why they're doing, like, if I thought of the
Kirk Douglas.
if I thought of the most retarded way I could do this,
like I'd probably do it this way.
I'd probably do it this way. Like Kirk Douglas nails it because every single time he's on screen with someone, it's like it's a great interaction.
Yeah, he's a scary character. In that sense, socially.
But he's also relatable. His intentions are very, very bad, and he's manipulative, but at the same time, I can see from his perspective how he thinks he might be able to get out of this scotch-free. Like, it could potentially be a no harm, no foul, where it's like, okay, he's just in there a little longer, poor guy, whatever, who cares? And then, alright, so I pull some strings here and there, it's like, I'm just gonna try to push, and it's like, so I could see a little bit.
Something that does make this movie different, though, like, with its time, compared to how it would be made now, is like he does eventually by the end start to feel bad for it. Like eventually it's like it gets to him because he sees that, oh no,
if we
this is gonna
it.
kill him. Yeah, like we wrote it. Like he doesn't care by the end, but like he does start to care.
He has a great last line. Oh, that movie's really good.
Yeah, the movie's super good. My own, like, honestly, this isn't even a big problem. Like my only problem is, spoiler, is he gets stabbed and then like ends up dying because of it, and like I just feel like the movie did that just because it's like he's a bad guy, he has to die. So like it didn't really.
It was made in the 1950s during the ban on the television ban, and famously a lot of movies from that era are heavily censored. So I can easily see how a studio behind
No, I see
Where
like
they were
why
like-
it's like that.
he needs to be punished.
Like I know why it's like that, but like I think a little bit it bothers me just because it's like he had to die because he had to. Like there was like I think narratively he didn't have to die. Narratively, like he shouldn't have to die.
Well,
Like,
narratively,
she just kind of pulls out a knife out of nowhere and stabs him.
yeah, the knife's never really like it's never
not
really
set
set
up.
up that she would want to kill him, or that she has it in her. Like the scene's also a little like the scene's interesting up until then because he's starting to feel bad, and you're like, all right, well, like this is a new. Like,
That scene's really great because the guy's like, I got her this thing for our
Seems
anniversary.
great.
Can she wear it? Blah, blah, blah. It's like a Fox thing. And she's like, I don't want to wear it. And he's like, you are going to wear it. He's dying. And he's like putting it on
Well,
her.
'cause he's,
You are
like-
gonna, and he's strangling her with it.
Towards the end of the
Yeah.
movie, Kirk Douglas's character starts to realize like the gravity of it, where like he's basically told that the guy's gonna die because he chose retarded way of drilling down in the mountain. So it's like and they can't go the easy route anymore. They can't just prop up some wood planks and carve out a
Yeah.
tunnel normally. And the guy's about to die, and he's like, well, fuck, I'm responsible for this guy's death. And I like. Again, like, I don't think or, like, even now it would have been done that way. I do appreciate that the movie does it that way, because it gives him a little, like, he's not a completely horrible character. Like, he's not all bad. He's not Michael Scott. But, I like that he has a little bit of dimension towards the end.
Yeah, I think...
And I do really like that scene where he's like, you have to wear it. And then the scene after that's also
Well,
really
the scene
good.
after that is like one of my favorite scenes when he's up there on the mountain there yelling at them saying...
Well, even the scene
over.
before that, when he's just blatantly lying to him as he's dying, where he's like, does she look beautiful? Did she like it? And all he says
Yeah.
is, yes.
Yeah.
It's a great scene.
She
I
liked
love it.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't even say yes. All he says is yes, she did. To two different questions, because he like, did she wear it and did she like it? And all he says is yes, she did. It's great.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I get what you're saying, but I do kind of like the fact that he died and got stabbed. Not, let's like, oh, we need to punish the bad guy, but because, like, for me, like, I kind of felt, it's kind of weird, like, because he was so, it's also like, it's like he knew the guy in the hole the most at that point, And so it was like, I don't know, like, I felt like it was right. I'm like, he just died, and he was his whole reason for everything that's happened in this movie. All the money that he's gotten, all the attention that he's gotten, and all that, is because of this guy. This guy's gone, and I think he's kind of self-destructive, And so that's why he's like, no, you're gonna wear it. And he starts strangling her because he's just thinking like, I don't care about anything anymore. And he gets stabbed. He's like, I'm not gonna patch that up. I'm gonna be fine. It's like, you're, he's self-destructive. Like he's like everything's going alright. So I personally like.
For me, it's like I'm like half and half on it because I like everything with him. Like once he's stabbed, I think it's great. Like the actual act of it, I'm kind of like iffy on. But then after that, like how he's just like he goes the rest of the movie without acknowledging it once. I like a lot.
That was so
Counterpoint to what you said, Kevin, though, is I think as an ending to the movie, I always think it's more hard-hitting if the character doesn't die and he's just forced to live with whatever he's done. Like, I think a much darker ending would have just been him completely
Like
left
it
alone.
feels more just like, oh, it's the 50s and like he's bad, so he has to die for what he did. Is what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that, but I mean, the movie breaks ground in every other category. So like for me, it kind of balances.
Like the
out.
movie's constantly breaking your heart, dude. Because like you have that you have that scene where he strangles her and he's like, you're gonna wear that scarf and all that, and then the guy dies, and then he has this speech where he's like, the show's over, go home, all that, and then they just cut back to her and she's watching it from her window, and she's not even wearing the thing anymore, it's just on her chair, and she walks away, and it's like, she took it off immediately. She doesn't even care.
Yeah. Well, once she found out that, she was like, okay.
But like when that shot starts, like she's already not wearing it.
That's true.
Like she doesn't take it off in that shot, she's just not wearing
And then
it.
when she walks away at the end, she's not wearing it then either, even though she's literally going home after that. And I'm like, she left it there. She did not even keep it as a keepsake. This movie was awesome. And like compared to Billy Wilder's other work, I honestly still don't know because
What else has he made?
Sunset Boulevard.
That's good.
That's a good one. Some Like It Hot. Yeah, I don't think you've seen that one.
No, but I want to.
That one's like, if some like I think of like objectively like the best comedy of all time. That's easily a contender for like the best comedy. It has just one of the best scripts ever. It's super hilarious. He did Double Indemnity.
Mm-hmm. I still think I like Ace in the Hole better than all those movies that I've seen.
Really?
Ace in the Hole is so good, dude. Like, I saw it, like a year ago, and I bought it like a month later. Like, I was like, this movie's super good, I gotta own it.
Well, Ace in the Hole, final thoughts to any aspiring filmmakers out there. Watch movies like this. It's one of the greatest examples of a movie that more student short films should be like. Like, you should be aspiring to just make something that's simple. Like, the concept is so simple, and I loved it. The whole time I was watching it, I was like,
It's almost like the thing I keep saying is that all you need is a character.
I was complaining. I was literally complaining to Kevin the other day where I was like, movies. This was back before we'd even talked about doing movie of the week today. But I was like, movies back in the 50s were like, it was just like, oh, aliens. I was talking about sci-fi, but I was like, oh, it's like aliens came, and it's like that's the premise or whatever. And it's like now
Day the Earth Stood Still came out the same year.
and it's like that. And Day the Earth Stood Still is a great example because it's like that is the whole premise. And then it's like, how does everyone react to it? Like, how do nations react to like this entity being like on Earth? And it's like, wow, that's crazy. But now movies have to be like really complicated, and it's like, oh, you can't just have that simple premise anymore.
They are here for our planet.
And
they need our resources.
I think it's because like somewhere along the lines, like
They're here for our gold.
like people started equating like complex plot lines with quality plot lines. Just because a plot line is really complex, it doesn't make it good. In fact, 9 times out of 10, it'll make it worse. Black Panther's a great example. That plot was like stupidly complicated.
Well, because it has 2 plots.
BVS is retardedly complicated. If you're a filmmaker or like a student filmmaker, or even you want to get into it,
Or you like movies.
Yeah, or you like movies.
Or you want to like them well.
Yeah.
You can like them bad.
Yeah, you can like them bad, dude.
There are movies that are for casuals, dude.
Alright, so my suggestions for next week: Double Down, Winter Soldier, and Mudbound. Netflix's Mudbound.
What is that?
It was the weird Netflix movie that none of us had heard of that got
A bunch
nominated
of black
for some
people in it,
awards.
nominated for a few Oscars.
So there's my 3. It's Double Down, Mudbound, or
Double Down, Mudbound,
or
Captain America: The Winter
Civil-
Soldier.
Civil Soldier.
I'm gonna say Winter Soldier.
My vote is Double Down. Not only because do I miss a
Is the
bad movie
button
on here,
coming back?
but also because
No, the button is.
we watched Fateful Times last time, and it would be great for all of us to just watch a bad movie that none of us have seen together, and have an opportunity to do that, so that's my vote.
This is a
You
button.
said Fateful Times, Kevin.
This is a button emissary.
You said Fateful Times.
Did I? Oh fuck! No,
right, so-
delete that. Whoever's editing, take that out.
I'm gonna repeat.
Dub over.
All right. So which one of you is heads? Which one is tails?
Heads.
Yours is heads.
Well, no, I'm saying heads for you. Yes, it's me.
Okay, I was. All right. I thought you were gonna finish fall off and it's like heads is this one, not. I didn't know you were calling it. I didn't know you were the the representative of the movie.
All right.
Of course I am.
All right. Here we go.
Anyway, yeah.
So
heads.
Kevin's heads.
Heads. Tails.
Heads.
It's tails. All right. So we're watching. We're
Winter Soldier. I already rewatched it, so you guys let me know.
Thank you guys
Goodbye,
for watching.
everybody.
If you have a suggestion for what movie we should watch on Movie of the Week,
We won't listen.
I don't give a shit.
Well, no, actually, I was gonna say if you leave in the comments of this specific video what movie you want us to watch next, we will watch it because I don't think anyone's gonna comment.
No. Movie of the Week.
Yeah,
is
go
no-
ahead. We dare you.
Movie of the Week is like.
Oh wait, no, Keeger's just gonna make us watch something stupid. Keeger's just gonna be like, oh sweet.
Oh,
Right,
oh
then.
no! What have we done? It's out there. It's out there.
Here's the
It's
problem-
already on the
Here's
internet.
the problem with this episode, though, is that on top of the fact that no one already watches Movie of the Week, no one's gonna
No
watch
one's
our
gonna-
Movie of the Week.
Nobody's gonna see this.
I always forget that Age of Ultron's a real movie that came
Dude,
out.
it happened.
I just watched it the other day.
Might be that might be the
Because
most
we could-
forgettable movie to ever come out.
No.
That can't be the most forgettable.
All right, fine. Most forgettable.
It can't even be the most
Hold
forgettable
on,
movie
it's not
in
even the most
MCU.
forgettable Marvel movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not even the most forgettable Marvel movie.
Name a Marvel
Thor.
mo-
Thor 2.